Hey, my name is Tucker Krause, welcome back to my channel, and so FOMC meeting a couple days ago, let's talk about it. So what's interesting here is the Bank of Canada hiked 50 basis points a few weeks ago, while the Fed still did 75 basis points, which is interesting since the Bank of Canada was originally hiking higher and faster than the Fed. If I remember correctly, they did 75 basis points before the Fed did, though fact check me because I could have that wrong. And so this shows that obviously some of the stronger economies like Canada are starting to slow down hikes, which is interesting because now that's leaving the US as one of the last men standing when it comes to hikes in the West. Right, and that's because, Bank of Canada, that was one of the, Western central banks that was, keeping up with the Fed with the hikes previously, right? The Bank of England, the ECB, the BOJ, all these things, weren't doing too well already. Though, so this already is interesting, because now the Fed's kind of the last one standing here. And so, it's definitely bullish for the dollar, and the TA will show that as well, I should note, but we'll cover more TA in just a second. And so, what did Powell say at the press conference exactly? That's pretty important, not just the number. You want to know, what Powell's thinking. Well, he's still as hawkish as ever. He said he wants to raise real rates to positive. So, what's CPI right now? 8%? Yeah, that's pretty high. And believes the Fed has yet to over-tighten. Basically, he'll stay the course. However, he did open the door potentially for a 50 basis point hike in December, as he said there will be discussions of a smaller hike in December. Though he did not close the door on 75 basis points, and by proxy 100 basis points, though I'm highly doubtful of 100 basis points. It seems going into this December, it's probably going to be 50 or 75. He also did say, though, that there will be a harder landing than initially hoped. And so there's some things that are a tiny bit dovish, but generally, it's all hawk here. Hawk with Powell. And I should note also when he says real rates to positive, again, I was kind of exaggerating with the CPI. From what I understand, he's, taking forward-facing inflation. So the idea is right. So maybe if inflation comes down to 6% and he gets to 6% rates or so, at least from my understanding is how he properly phrased that. I should note that. And so, overall, minuscule amount of dovishness. Overall, still largely hawkish. And so, how did the market react to all of this? Well, let's get into the chart. So we can see SPY right here. The market's fulfilled a head and shoulders after it struggled around the 50-day moving average and a resistance line from the March 2020 and June 13 lows, as you can kind of see right on the end there. Of course, it blasted through it for one day right before the FOMC meeting. However, Powell quickly put a stop to that, causing us to dump right back down, though we may have formed short-term support there on Friday, as you can see. Though it's a very small channel there, so we could easily, break up higher or lower from here. On to DXY. So the dollar initially jumped on the FOMC, though it has since given back all of its gains with a giant red candle there on Friday. We do have support at the 109 level, though, and I do think the dollar goes higher before significantly lower, so we could totally bounce at this 109 level. Alright, so that's all I've got for today. This is not financial advice. Do your own research. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.